What's up, Patreon? We are so excited. We're actually especially excited, and we didn't get the chance. Scott and I, in our pre episode with Zach and Jake, didn't get to mention that this episode is actually just going to be live on YouTube after we're done recording for everyone to see.
Nice.
So Patreon, but also hello YouTube. We are pretty excited to be able to share this with you. We're going to be jumping into our episode in just a minute. But this is a special episode. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we get into the actual ep. But it's a special bonus episode paid for by one of you, one of our listeners. We're so grateful that you would be willing to do that. And if anyone wants to force us to watch and review a movie, you can do that by going to patreon.com/rottenpotatopod. And there are two options there. You can nominate an episode for $20, but if all five of us agree that we don't want to do it, we can veto it.
And we'll refund you if we do.
Yeah, and we'll refund you. But if you think that we're going to veto it and you really want to push it through, you get that super overpass veto that like the president has, I think.
Yeah.
And you can for $50, you can make us watch the movie whether we want to or not and review it.
And boy, do I wish the one we're about to review was a $50 movie.
Imagine if we weren't going to refund, just taking that risk of throwing us $20, maybe for nothing.
Maybe that's what we should do. Like, hey, if you want to do it again, you got to pay more.
But if you want to get video episodes like this regularly, we do release episodes every other week on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. But if you like video podcasts, if that's your thing, you can get these of every episode that we produce by becoming a supporter by going to patreon.com/rottenpotatopod. You also get them usually several weeks in advance. So if you just can't wait for more Rotten Potato movie content, you can get that there.
Cool. I don't know why
Scott just got very
I got scared.
he was about to launch into something, I feel like.
But then my screen went like black over.
Scott's gone.
Are we? This is just Patreon still, right?
I don't know. Well, I can't hear Tyler either.
Tyler now, yeah.
And Zach, you kind of sound like a robot.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, are you excited, Zach, for Saturday?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Do I sound like a robot?
Yeah, I won't sound like that in the recording. It'll just sound like that to me over the internet.
I guess that's true. But what if we can't use my memo?
I think that we'll be able to use your memo.
I can hear you.
I heard you for a second.
Oh, Scott, okay, we're back.
Yeah, you're back.
But we for sure cut out, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Scott, we lost your video feed, and then Tyler stuck around for a little bit we lost Tyler's audio.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scott's entire computer just like it went dark for a second, and that was when he kind of froze, and then everything just went black.
So if you want to make sure that doesn't happen anymore, go support us on Patreon.
Do I still sound like a robot?
Oh yeah.
Bad sound from Zach. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I sound like Velociraptor.
Zach, go ahead and kill the voice memo. We're just not going to be able to use that.
Are you sure? Won't I sound like a robot on this recording?
I think he's suspecting that the voice memo is probably causing too much strain on your computer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me quit.
That is also why I just went and quit everything else I was doing.
Do I sound any better?
Yes.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
So we're just going to use this audio.
Man, what a night.
I know.
What a night to be alive.
So yeah, for those of you who would not be in the know, our Patreon knows that from time to time we do, when we have to do remote recordings, we often have some sort of technical difficulties, and this night is no different. But that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into this episode.
All right.
Also, mute yourself or don't talk for the next little bit.
What the hell are you doing?
It's cool. I'm just looking.
It's too much machine for you.
Yeah?
I hope you don't screw like your type.
What is up, and welcome back to a very special bonus episode of the Rotten Potatoes podcast, a podcast where four friends sit down and review movies that you absolutely should have seen, but at least one of us hasn't. On this special bonus episode, we got told that we needed to watch and review this 1995 classic, Hackers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I forgot to say my name's Tyler. I'm here with three of my best friends.
I'm Scott.
I'm Jake. Oh, sorry.
I'm Zach.
And yeah, we never know what order we're supposed to introduce ourselves
No,
in.
we had decided that we're
Jake just
going
missed it.
on table order, but I was going on stream picture order.
No matter how many times we decide on something, I feel like, by the way, we've made several decisions and I feel like they change often. There, Scott's got our video squares in table order now.
It's just like we're at your house. It's perfect.
Also,
Just-
I was ready to go with my hacker name.
Oh,
Just in case we pulled that
yeah,
out.
I forgot.
Why don't we
Let's
just
start it
redo
over.
with the
Yeah,
hacker
we'll
name?
just
over.
redo it.
I have to think of one real quick.
Scott, go
The
last.
podcast where four friends sit down and review movies that you absolutely should have seen, but at least one of us hasn't. My name is Phantom Bite, and I'm here with three of my best friends.
I'm Green River.
I'm Null Pointer.
And I'm the keyboard kick butter.
Yeah.
Come for me, I'm gonna
I literally
kick your
just read
butt.
off a bottle of whiskey over on the corner of the table.
What was yours, Tyler?
Phantom Bite.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's Phantom with an F, and then Bite with a Y.
Yeah. So
And
it's
then-
computer.
Yeah, and then like the E at the end of Bite is a 3, of course.
Oh, so you're
Oh,
elite
it's elite.
speaking.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Leet. Yeah, but just that one character is Leet. Everything else.
Oh, it's one character lead speech.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm a little jealous. I didn't think of it.
I'm
the
not
first
gonna lie to you. I went to Chat GPT for help.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought about it and then I forgot.
I went online to see if I thought there had to be some sort of like Hackers movie name generator on the internet still from the early 2000s. I'm sure that existed at some point, but I couldn't find anything. And I'm pretty sure anything like that, those like generators have been all like taken down now that like AI is in the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Yeah,
point in hosting those anymore.
I didn't realize I was a boomer and was just sitting and thinking of my hacker name. I should have been using ChatGPT.
I did the same thing. The first idea I had was LL0 Cool J.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
But that seemed a little too clever for like the standards of these characters
Yeah.
that we're going with.
And I would say a little too derivative, but
Well, I was referencing something.
What were you referencing? The movie Hackers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And LL Cool J.
yeah. No, we got it. I thought we got it.
Yeah, no, we did. I just didn't think he needed to say I was referencing something.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that I don't know why you asked me then.
Yeah.
Because it felt too obvious for you to have said it.
You thought there must be a better story.
No, I knew there wasn't.
I feel like that's on you.
I mean, it didn't work. It didn't play. I don't know if you have to dwell on it.
Oh, sorry. We can move on.
Well, our YouTube audience has gotten to hear a little bit of this already, but for our listeners, this special episode was suggested to us by someone named Fernando. Jake, can you tell us a little bit about Fernando? You know him better than we do.
Fernando is, I go to trivia on Tuesdays with Fernando, and then one week he started talking about hackers and wouldn't stop talking about hackers. And then he said, "How much would I have to pay you guys to watch the movie Hackers?" And then I had never even heard of it. So came back to you guys and I was like, Fernando wants us to watch the movie Hackers, and you guys are like $20. And I kind of wish you would have said a higher number, honestly.
I wonder how you should have asked or countered him. How much would you pay?
Right.
He would have paid more. I know for a fact, but I felt bad. And so I saw him on Tuesday, and I told him I'm going to watch Hackers tomorrow. And then he laughed at me for probably 45 seconds, maybe.
Nice.
So he was pretty stoked.
Well, before we get into this, all of us were late bloomers to this gem. So before we get into our thoughts about this movie, Scott, do you want to hit us with a little bit of just the facts?
Yeah, so this movie was directed by Lane Softly.
It's Ian.
Oh, Ian Softly. Written by Raphael Moreau. It released September 15th, 1995. Has a runtime of 105 minutes. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a very high 33%. IMDb gave it a 6.2. It had a box office of $7.5 million on a $20 million budget. So that's like almost 33%.
It's a loser in the ROI. Can't say I'm surprised. Another interesting fact to kick us off. This was Angelina Jolie's first major motion picture. This was her breakout role.
I can't believe she got hired anywhere else after this.
What did you guys think of? I think she was like 27 at the time. What do you think of 27-year-old?
No, I think she was 20.
Oh, 20. That's right.
Yeah, I looked it up because I mean, there was nudity in the movie, and I was like, is this like even allowed? How old is Angelina Jolie here? But yeah, 20. But it was I'm not an Angelina Jolie fan, so it was not a disappointment or good. You know,
I'm not an Angelina Jolie fan, and it was a disappointment.
I mean, the movie was a disappointment, but I don't think Angelina Jolie was particularly a disappointment.
Yeah, I don't think she's the worst part of this movie by probably a lot.
Yeah,
I think there's bigger issues we need to focus our attention on.
But do you know what? Speaking of Angelina Jolie in this movie, she found love here. I believe that she married her co-star from this movie.
Yeah,
and I can't believe that happened out of this.
Really, Dade?
Yeah, Dade. She married Dade.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they were married for like 4 years right after this movie came out.
Wow. I honestly just don't have anything to say to that.
Well, let's do this one since we were all late bloomers, and I happen to know the order in which we all watched it. We'll do it in order of who watched it first, and that was Zach. Zach was the first one to watch this movie, and you were surprisingly very quiet about it. You didn't let us know that you had seen it or that it was bad. And I texted you the other night and said, I'm like, I just started it and it was already a lot. And you had seen it or just saw it before us. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to spoil my my thoughts, although I don't know. When I first started, I thought, yeah, maybe there's a chance that some of these guys will kind of enjoy this movie, but by the end of it, I was pretty sure that we'd all hate it. And I did. I really hated this movie. I think sometimes movies are bad because they're like the quality of the film is bad. They're poorly made. Sometimes they're bad because they're just not interesting. They're boring. They're not fun to watch. They're not enjoyable. And then I feel like more rarely, sometimes a movie's bad because it's just incredibly annoying. And this movie I found to be like incredibly annoying. I found it so obnoxious. It really got under my skin in such a bad way. I think I was more upset watching it as it went. This movie is like aggressively weird. Like it feels like it's trying so hard to be weird. I found it kind of confusing at times too, like plot wise, but then also just like the entire milieu of the movie. Like I'm just like, where are they? Like, isn't this supposed to be 90s New York? Why does it look like they're on the set of like The Fifth Element or something like that half the time? Like, why are they dressing like this? It was so
the
weird
90s, dude.
and out
That's
there.
that's hackers. Zach, this
That's
is
just
my
how
culture.
hackers. So how accurate is this film then to hacker culture, Jake? Would you say
This
they,
is
like,
what I do
nailed
every
it?
day of my life. I wake up, I put on a fishing vest, and I
Uh-huh.
rollerblade into work. And then
Okay.
I
And you
get there.
and you get every light along the way, right? Because you
Yeah.
wrote a program that causes multiple car accidents.
Yeah, I
every
hack them
time you go
all.
to work.
Yeah,
It
but it doesn't
was-
matter. I'm on rollerblades, so I can
Right.
weave in and out.
It was crazy how pro rollerblade this movie was.
There was a lot of rollerblading and tiny skateboarding.
You know, they actually the director got the cast together about 4 weeks before principal photography, before shooting, so that they could bone up on their rollerblading.
Wow.
I don't know if you're joking or not, but that
That-
sounds like it probably
no,
happened.
That sounds like a joke, but I know that it's real.
It's real. That's real.
So, Jake, were you like, when you heard them yell "hack the world," were you like deeply moved by that?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
got up out of my chair and I started hacking the world,
Yeah.
and then I remembered that it was just the movie. And
Plus,
I just stopped.
Shaggy's just super
Gotcha.
inspiring.
Yeah, that Shaggy was probably the worst part of the movie for me, honestly.
I felt so bad because you know, I like Matthew Lillard quite a bit, just like as a person. I've tried to be, you know, supportive of, like, you know, the movies that he's in. And yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, Matthew Lillard's in this. And immediately Zach texted me, like right when that happened. He was like, yeah, Matthew Lillard is frankly the worst part of this movie. And I was like, oh no, but he really was. He was by far the worst part of this movie. He was so terrible.
I think he was really bad. I think the main actor was significantly worse.
Do you mean the guy that was less believable of a high school student than Fast and Furious 3?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, his beard's really coming in right. Like, I never had 5 o'clock shadow in the morning in high school.
And it was like 9 o'clock shadow. Like, it was really noticeable. No, he was so unbelievable and you know what was funnier is like the little boy, like when they show him as the little boy in the opening scene, which is, by the way, like just such a jarring, ridiculous, over the top opening scene. But when they show that little boy and he's supposed to be like 10 at the time, I'm like, there's no way that's a 10-year-old. Like, they really undercast that actor. And then they show him as an 18-year-old, and I'm like, oh man, they went the opposite direction. Like,
yeah.
I had that same thought. I was like, he aged 30 years in these 7 years.
Dude, that's what happens when you're banned from touch tone telephones, you know?
Yeah.
This movie did have a lot of Tokyo Drift energy. Like, it was confusing to figure out like who's in high school, who's not in high school. Is Lord Nikon in high school, or is this just an adult man that they like hang out with and go to
He was
his
only
weird apartment?
23.
Yeah, he was only 23 when he made this, but he still looked way older.
Yeah,
than
he
that.
doesn't look like a high school student.
No.
I
Yeah.
watched
But I
this
don't
with
think
it
we
new.
see him in high school with them, do we?
I don't know
Yeah,
if we
no,
did.
he's in.
We do?
The whole thing is in his senior year.
Like, but no, he's in classes. Like when,
Oh, is he in classes?
yeah, when the phone
English
freak,
professor.
when the phone freak like first like keys in that he's a hacker, it's because he's hacked into the school's database and is like changing the grade of the girl that he thinks is cute or whatever.
Yeah, there's some creepy, like when he remembers, or because he has the photographic memory, and then he recites that girl's address. There's a few problematic aspects of this movie that made me pretty uncomfortable.
You mean? You mean like when they're all just staring while
Yeah.
Angelina
that
Jolie
was
and her
bad.
boyfriend are gonna have sex, acid burn, and
but then they're just like, "What? We were just checking out your laptop without your permission." And then she's like, "Oh, it's pretty cool, isn't it?" And then she's just like, "All right, we're moving on from that."
There were so many weird, like, just shifts like that where I was like, does no one care? Does no one know what's happening?
Oh, no one knew. I did feel though, like for real, not just the high schooler issue, but I really did feel like this movie was Fast and Furious for nerds. Like
That I
everything
had
about
that exact thought. I watched this with Anu, and then we had a conversation. We were like, "This is Tokyo Drift somehow."
Yep. It really is. I mean, it had it felt like it even had the same beats where it's like they're like the villain stakes are like way too high. Like he's like extorting, like, first of all, he's the villain who like insists on being called the Plague, which is just epic. When he
around the office.
Yeah, his whole mission to like, hide his hide his theft by like capsizing a ton of like oil tankers is like those stakes are way too high. And then he's like extorting a teenager, like blackmailing him that he's going to like imprison his mother. Like, what that, like, these stakes are just way too high.
The skateboarding guy, like, he was the coolest villain I think I've ever seen, and my idol. But yeah, that was insane that he was like, "Oh, somebody hacked in here, so now I'm going to frame this group of children for stealing $25 million from us." It was nuts. But I think the coolest part of this movie is when he's dropping the floppy disk to Plague, and then Plague is hanging off the side.
Oh, yeah. It's the craziest scene.
Let's go grabs the thing. It just grabs onto the car again.
If there was any dialogue in there, that would have been our opening audio. It's just that there's nothing to identify that that's the scene that we're referencing, but it is the craziest scene of the movie.
I will watch that scene again soon, probably.
Also, for anyone listening that wants to enjoy what we're talking about, this is streaming on Amazon Prime right now, so you can go watch it there.
It's free.
I don't think you should, but
it will be a waste of an hour 45.
Yeah. No, I thought the villain was ridiculous. And by the way, like, this was a pretty early role for him. A lot of people don't realize that before this, he wore brown face and played an Indian guy in the hit film Short Circuit.
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's Johnny Five is the robot, and he's been a part of Star Tours since Star Tours at Disneyland has existed. So yeah, but no, he's like most known for being in brown face, which is like super problematic and unfortunate. But
he is also in Lost.
Yeah, he is in Lost, but I don't think that's necessarily what people mostly recognize him from.
When I did see him, I go, "Oh, the crazy dude from Lost."
Yeah, was he Radzinski? Or
yeah.
From now on,
in a lot. He's been in a lot of Wes Anderson movies. He was in Succession too.
Mm-hmm.
From now on, I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say, "That's the Plague."
It's the only way to look at him from this point on. And don't worry, I is here.
Also,
never fear, I is here. That was the best, coolest first line of any villain ever. When he skateboards into the server room and says to Penn Jillette for some reason, who's his like server monkey, like, never fear, I is here.
I was hoping Teller was going to show up and have no lines.
Honestly, when they showed Penn Jillette and then he skateboards in, just how they captured the whole thing, I really thought for a second, I was like, wait, is this actually a comedy? And I'm missing that I think it's taking itself seriously, but it's not, because this is objectively hilarious. And then a couple more scenes go by and I'm like, nope, okay, not funny. Like, this is a serious movie.
There are so many like small decisions in this movie that I just think I don't know why nobody was thinking about this. Like there's a scene where the plague is talking to his girlfriend, Tony Soprano's therapist.
Yes.
And they are like talking about what's going wrong with their plan. And then she rides down all the escalators with him
Mhm.
and they're having a conversation, presumably on the way somewhere. They
Yeah.
finish their conversation
And then
she
she
just
goes
goes
back
back up the escalator.
Yeah.
It bothered me more than it should have. I was like, why didn't anybody think about this for 1 second?
I think that there were bigger problems. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I mentioned this to Zach, and I'm going to steal his words because they were a lot less offensive than what I said initially. But every single character is the most like sexually ambiguous character I think I've ever come across. Like, I don't really have any confidence about anyone's sexuality in this because they're kind of playing it up to be like very like stereotypical 90s what people kind of portrayed gay people as before Will and Grace, basically. But then all of them are straight.
Yeah, they're like creeps.
Yeah. And I just don't I just couldn't get a bead on any of that. Like I feel like it's pretty hard. You put like a young male actor and a young female actor in a scene together. I feel like it's difficult as a director to get them to not have chemistry. But I felt like Angelina Jolie had literally zero chemistry with anyone that she shared the screen with.
Yeah, that's a bummer when she was like literally in love with one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
He was so like, why was he like sometimes doing a transatlantic accent? I feel like Dade.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Sometimes he would just start talking like this, and I was like, why did you start doing that?
I just think he had because he is a British actor. People might recognize him from Trainspotting. That's what I know him from. But he is British. But man, he picked the weirdest American accent to like try and go for that I think I've ever seen.
It almost it almost fits because everything about this movie is so uncanny valley. Like it almost feels like you could possibly convince me that this was like a director's decision to make everything feel like it's off by a little bit or a lot at times.
Like as if like he was like an alien trying to like explain to humans how human interactions work.
I guess, I don't know. Like nothing about this movie feels like it's working, and so I guess when nothing is working, is it all working? I don't understand.
Yeah, I know that if I didn't know that this movie came out in 1995, you could have convinced me that AI wrote this movie.
I actually think ChatGPT could write a better script. Truly,
I did have the same thought. Like it feels like an AI written, at least concept. And you know what else it feels like? It kind of feels like a few computer nerds who were bullied in high school and were not cool. They were zero cool, to borrow that from the movie. But then wanted to like made it their life's goal when they grew up to write a movie about computer nerds being the cool kids at school and like saving the world.
This I can tell you with certainty that there were no computer nerds writing this movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. They would use the right words.
Yeah, this is definitely like this is like the Big Bang Theory for me. It's like somebody that isn't a nerd is trying to write a nerd, but they don't understand.
Like a 3-year-old told an alien to write a movie about hacking and told them what hacking was.
Yeah, okay, I hear you guys. That makes sense. It's a nerd trying to write a nerd, but it also feels like a not cool person trying to write cool people, because then also like they're the cool kids at school, right? It seems like they're the cool
I am
kids.
unclear on a lot of things about their school. Like
they go to cool like hacker arcade clubs that have roller rinks in them. Like,
yeah, but the only other people there are the hackers. Maybe the normal kids think that they're just freaks.
I
like,
maybe,
why,
but we don't have any normal kids in this movie.
They just don't have any lines. But like, why are they like sneaking in two other classes. Like Shaggy is sneaking into advanced English when he isn't there. Like there are two people trying to get in there.
Yeah,
And
Shaggy was like
the teacher
the-
just
the-
has the class roster in front of him. He doesn't know who's in his class.
I don't know if Shaggy's the dumbest smart kid ever or the smartest dumb kid ever. Like he'd like spout all this like a code, which apparently is not accurate at all. Like I couldn't tell you one way or the other, but then also just was such an idiot the entire movie and maybe homeless.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
definitely homeless.
Yeah, dude, he investigates things with a dog in a van.
No, he like at least 2 or 3 times asks people, "Can I crash at your place?"
And he eats all the food in Dade's apartment, apparently.
Yeah. I think he's
Yeah.
homeless.
I think I'm actually convinced that these choices were all intentional and this is a comedy.
I mean, it really could have been, and it just was so dry that it snuck by me. I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Like,
to
I
me.
feel like if the director is like British, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it now. Because like British humor, I just don't.
That feels disrespectful to British humor, in my opinion. 'Cause I didn't think this
No,
was
Feel free to
remotely,
disrespect
I
the
don't get
British, but don't put this on them. You know?
I also felt like not only was the story kind of all over the place, but it was just some of the roughest dialogue I think I've ever sat through. Like this truly to me was like barely one step above Oh Hi Mark in terms of like dialogue. Like this was,
I think I would rather watch The Room than watch this.
I would honestly, I have more fun watching The Room than I have watching this because at least everyone's in on the joke. And like, I felt like watching this, I was like, is the joke on me? I don't know.
We knew
Do you
that
feel
the
like
joke
this
was on
will-
us.
Do you feel like this will have a following like The Room at some point?
I think this actually does have like a certain level of like cult following. Like I do think there are a lot of people that like this movie, or you know, even knowing it's bad, like still enjoy it. And I could definitely see, for sure, I could see, you know, being a child in the 90s a little bit. Like I could see if I was a little bit younger, if I was maybe born in like 85 or something like that, I could see me being like super excited about this movie as a kid, like as a 12 or, you know, 10, 12-year-old. But because I was super into computers, you know, at the time and like trying to figure out, torrenting and, you know, the like early days of, you know, web 1.0, like I was super into the internet. I thought it was so exciting. I spent most of my time on like precursors to Reddit, basically. It was a blast. And I could see myself really like loving this. I just, didn't. And so now seeing it, I hate it.
Yeah. There was another plot point in the movie that I feel like I think probably they left hanging, but maybe I missed it. The Phantom Freak. They just never mentioned it. He goes to jail.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just forget about him. Like
Yeah,
that doesn't resolve.
Yeah.
Everybody
which
else
one's
gets
that?
off scot-free.
The Hispanic one.
Oh, they never
Yeah,
like brought him
kinda
back.
has the long
He's
hair.
the freak.
We never see him out. We never see him be released from jail. I think
He just
you're right.
goes
I
to
didn't think about
jail
that,
and then they
but-
forget about him for the rest of the movie.
Well, they mention him, like they'll mention things about her, like, oh, that's what he got caught about or whatever. But we never see him released from jail.
No.
Yeah. They're like really into getting the other guy out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid who's always
forgot about
smoking
this
2
character.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
How could you forget about that guy?
No, not that I forgot that he was in the movie. I forgot later on in the movie
Oh,
that
right.
he
So did
was-
they.
that he
That's what I'm
existed.
saying.
No, I
you
forgot
fell
too.
victim to this where you
When Jake said that, I was like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, he did never come back out of prison.
Yeah, he was just not in the rest of the movie.
Do you think he's still in prison?
I think so.
Probably.
I did love how just over the top it was anytime they arrested any of them. Why did they bring like such heavy artillery?
Yeah, they're like sneaking up on a kid in the shower and they're pointing a gun through the shower curtain.
Yeah,
at him.
exactly. But that Secret Service agent may be my favorite character. He was just kind of a quirky guy.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
how long do you think he was on the plane before he pretended to be a stewardess and
They were
arrested?
pretty high. They were pretty high. I'm
I like to
guessing
think that
like
he was-
30, 40,000 feet. I'm
Yeah.
guessing he was on there for like at least 45 minutes before he did that.
Yeah, he's
It
like,
seems
how funny is this
inconvenient
gonna
to
be?
wait? Yeah, to wait that long.
He
into
like
the flight.
waited for the seatbelt light to turn off before he went and did that.
Yeah. Where was he going again? He was leaving the
Tokyo.
country, right? That's a
Yeah.
long flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to fly him back to America.
Yeah.
I also don't understand. I don't understand why this was at all the Secret Service's problem. Like of
Yeah, I was
all
right.
about that too.
agencies, why is this the Secret Service's problem? And B, how does some IT guy at a company have the Secret Service by the balls?
That's
Like,
what I was gonna say. Is like I was confused on who he worked for. I was like, is he his boss? Or does he work for the company? Like, what's going on?
It's like,
Yeah,
no,
that
he
was
was just a
very confusing.
subcontractor for cybersecurity.
Maybe he just did a bunch of sick skate tricks that we didn't see, and then they respected him enough
Yeah.
to take orders.
to not only take orders, but like bring again, like way too much force to bear on a bunch of high school students. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but
Very-
also he has the Secret Service in his pocket, but he needs to hack into an FBI database for some reason
yeah,
to
absolutely.
find out that his parents are divorced and he lives with his mom. He
Also,
could have just found that out any other way.
Yeah.
if all these government websites and everything have that bad of security, why aren't they hiring these kids to come in and like fix the stuff?
Because they're anti-establishment, Scott.
They
Yeah,
would pay them
they're-
so much money.
They're busy
Just-
having hacker battles over what goes on the TV.
Oh yeah, the hacker battle with the robots at the very beginning, where they're controlling the robots, was so prime.
Yeah, this is that's also what I do most days is I get into work and I type faster than somebody else, and then we just like type battle each other. We hack battle each other.
And you type where you think they're gonna go, so you can steal it from them.
yeah, like
and all of that is just to control an arbitrary robot. Is that
yeah, to do that, or to just like find garbage files, like shoot like components on a circuit board to get a garbage file, I guess, when you're hacking the world. That kind of
Also,
thing.
I had no clue that's what files looked like
Oh yeah.
on a computer.
No, that's what they look like. You know what's funny to me? This movie is all about computers, and all of the like computer special effects were not even computer generated.
What?
Yeah. They were models.
It was all
Wow.
practical effects of a real computer, Jake.
And not a
that
real
makes sense.
computer,
They
obviously.
got in there.
Yeah.
But the director thought that computer generated graphics would look too artificial.
Well, I'm glad he had his integrity.
And it looked great. He nailed it. I thought I was in mainframe.
Also, I gotta say, there are like, I mean, I can think of, and I'm not a filmmaker. I can think of better ways to like show the stakes of like hacking than just crappy renders of like what computers might look like, or some like surreal renders of what a computer might look like. It's so stupid to me.
I can think of better ways just to improve your film. I feel like this was the least of that guy's concerns, to be honest.
But for a film where that is like, I mean, that is kind of like the central plot point of this, is that these kids are so impressive at computers that, they can do all this amazing stuff. It's their sort of like superpower, and their superpower looked lame as hell.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like this movie was trying so hard to convince me that hackers are cool, and it just failed miserably.
And that they're good.
Yeah, I think that's also bad. Why are we promoting hacking?
Like government bad, hacker good.
Yeah, but also like they're I feel like everybody was bad and then they just became heroes. I don't know.
There was that FBI agent who thought that the hacker manifesto was pretty cool. He
I
thought it
forgot
was
about
pretty
that
sweet.
I also like that each of their laptops, when it loads up, like shows up with their own personalized logo.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Do you guys, Jake, in the hacker world, do you have that on your computer too?
Yeah, I had to spend a lot of time in the BIOS, just figuring that out. But it was worth it because now I look cool. I turn off my computer every day and turn it back on
just so you can see it.
Yeah. I also really like that they show this as all like even in our opening audio, she's like, that's too much machine for you. And it's like, it's a freaking laptop. Like the notion of a powerful laptop
in 95
is pretty recent. And even still, like, it's just a function of a function of physics that like laptops are not as powerful as like larger computers because, computer components for higher quality computer components are too big to fit in a laptop. And so even still today, like if you want a more powerful computer, you're not getting a laptop.
I don't know. Before, when I was having my laptop issues, I had the thought this might be too much machine for me.
I don't know what too much machine for you would mean with the computer. Like, I get it if it's like a car or something. It's like, oh, you can't handle it, or like a motorcycle. But like, I still just type on the keys, right? And
it's still QWERTY, like it's still okay, cool.
It might be not like I feel like having not enough machine would be harder for somebody that doesn't know how to use it.
Yes, too much machine is just you can't work as fast as the machine can.
That's right.
I guess.
Which I think is the case for most computers, which is why we have them.
Right. Yeah, it's the point, really. I mean,
I will say, like, almost nothing about this movie I could find relatable to myself. Although, who of us hasn't been on a date and then just wanted to like take a dip and go swimming in the middle of the night?
Close.
A date that you won by contest
on the roof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sick callback to his epic burn getting locked on the roof.
Yeah. I will say though, that trick is pretty awesome. Of getting people to just get stuck on the roof.
That is pretty funny. Yeah. There's an Olympic-sized swimming pool on the roof. And then
even tricking people into going dating.
Yeah.
Or to
also, I'll be honest with you.
Idiot nerds, like just
why weren't you
by the door?
Yeah. This has happened to 8 of you already. How has no one figured it out?
If I got to school and you told me there's an Olympic-sized swimming pool on the roof, I wouldn't even be interested enough to go up there. Like, all right.
Seriously.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
That really felt like that could have been lifted out of Tokyo Drift. Just that moment.
Totally. And just his like reaction, like, slam the door, like very Tokyo Drift for sure.
And I like how everyone got punished for that. Like everyone got rained on, even probably the students that had already experienced the rain roof. Like they got rained on twice.
Also, it's like, hey, I wonder who did this. Could it be the kid with an umbrella indoors?
Seriously.
I want to go back to the date at the very end. Talking about relatable content. I like that, like when we pick up on them, like sort of walking, like as presumably at the end of the date, he's like getting in her face, like he's gonna hit her or something like that. Like this guy is just such a weird character. Like nothing that he does makes any sense. Like why is he feigning that he's going to like physically attack her now?
Yeah, they had such a threatening.
At that point.
They had such a threatening relationship. I really hated when he said, if I wasn't such a stand-up guy, I'd probably take advantage of the situation.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like if you were such a stand-up guy, you wouldn't have said that.
Also, didn't he admit to premeditated homicide earlier? When
did he?
Yeah,
you'll have to remind me about that.
He said he was thinking about it. So when he first meets the dude that was on the phone, And he's like, oh, what's your interest in that chick? Is it like sexual or this? And he goes, homicidal.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
yeah.
he did do that.
He did say
Like,
that.
okay, I'm reporting you to the police.
There was such a weird specific like sexism happening like throughout this movie too. Like when he first like beats, like he's playing the video game, like, you know, she's at the top of the leaderboard or whatever, and then like he's playing, and then her like boyfriend or something comes up and he's like, you know, is there a problem here or something? And he goes, I could use a little space. And then the guy says, yeah, why don't you come up here? I just naturally assumed that he was talking to Date, that he was like
That's what I
threatening
thought
him,
too.
like, hey,
Yeah.
come up here. There's some space. Like, I'll fight you, kind of a thing. And then I like to find out it was like an order directed at her was like super weird to me. I was like, what the heck?
If I'm
Is
honest,
Yeah, that was
relationship?
until you said that, I just thought, wonder why she went up there. She was clearly talking to him.
Like she went up there to like calm his nerves, like, hey, we don't need to do this here.
Yeah.
No, she was following his order. Which
Also,
is-
like what happened to him? He was just like gone.
oh yeah, he was
It was-
too inconsequential
I
of a
think
character.
his
to
last
know.
scene was when they were all in the room when they were about to get it on.
Yeah.
And then she
Yeah, and then-
was more excited about them being excited about her computer. And so he was like, all right, I'm done.
It's just not even a line of dialogue where he's like, "Hey, I know that you're dating somebody, but I want to go on a date with you." And she's like, "I broke up with him." Like nothing.
Nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
this movie got rid of the Phantom Freak, no explanation.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Oh my gosh. I really don't know truly, like having watched this. I don't think I can think of a movie that I've enjoyed less. And I will never make anyone. I'm not going to pay this one forward. I'm never going to make anyone watch this ever again.
I would
have
watch this in the vein of it being a hilarious time at someone trying to make a serious movie.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Is it better than Spirited Away?
No.
Okay, I for a second, the way you said that, I thought you were telling me that Spirited Away was worse for a second. I was like, I'm shocked.
No. Spirited Away is a better movie than this, for sure.
I would say I enjoyed this about the same as Spirited Away,
For the same reasons.
but this was longer than Spirited Away. And for that, Spirited Away has come out above.
That's insane.
All
I
right,
feel like we offended Fernando twice in that sentence.
Yeah. Didn't
I don't think we offended him at all. I think he knows that he was screwing us over by making us watch this movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I
really
think so.
excited to send him. The
I
link
think
to
he
this.
thinks that this is hilarious that we had to spend however long that movie was watching it, and then we had to talk for 45 minutes about it.
That I love talking about bad movies. This is one of my favorite things to do.
I do too, honestly. I'm glad that Fernando made us watch it so that we could talk about it. Because yeah, I do love to hate on this for sure. Yeah, anyone who I talk to about, you know, movies or anything like that, I'm now going to bring it up. I'm going to be like, well, have you ever seen Hackers? Because it's the worst.
Yeah, if someone's like, oh, that's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's like, well, have you seen Hackers?
Yeah.
So how? I have a question. I feel like we're getting to the end of this. How are we? Are we ranking this? Is this going on our official sheet?
It won't be on our like official sheet, but we will rank it like we have with other bonus episodes.
Let's have like maybe we have a separate.
We have a whole different
sheet?
tab now for
Oh,
bonus
okay.
episodes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it won't affect our like other statistics at all, but we are going to give it an honest rating.
I would love to see, though, if we did, where it would rank, because I have to imagine it's got to be very close to the bottom.
Oh yeah, I think we can really
I can
quickly
easily
compare
tell you
it.
what it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that we're gonna get very many paid movies that are going to, you know, crack the top 10.
Well, here,
I
oh
don't
no,
know.
I don't think
If
so
they
either.
pay
I
for
feel like
movies
people
that
are
we've all
doing this
seen,
because they
yeah.
hate us.
if someone paid for like, I don't know.
Here's the question: Do our
Avengers or something.
does our rule of one of us has to not have seen it have to apply for these movies?
No,
I would say
they're
no.
paying.
no.
Okay. Well, because Remy has wanted us to do the Sandlot for a very long time.
Yeah, if you wanted to pay, we would
$20.
we'd do the
We'll
Sandlot.
do the Sandlot.
I just rewatched The Sandlot on a plane, and some things don't hold up as well when you're not a child
wow.
watching it.
I just watched the
Interesting.
Sandlot on 4th of July because I do it every year, and I loved it.
I still loved it, but the kiss scene where he just like forces the kiss, I was like, I wish I wasn't. I was like flying back from a work event, and I was like sitting next to my coworkers, and I was like, I wish I wasn't sitting next to them for this.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I get it.
that's all to say. There might be people out there that just want to watch or make us watch a movie that they really love.
Yeah. No, I think it's I mean, for sure, it's definitely the way out of our lots of people have told us over the years, like, oh, you should watch this. And we'll have to say, like, oh, well, unfortunately, it's uneligible. We'll never review it because
We've all seen it.
we've all seen it. And so yeah, this is the end around to that for sure. And yeah, I mean, if you out there, listener, if you want to punish us, I guess, that's cool too. But
I'm thinking about punishing us and just paying for us to rewatch all of the Fast movies again.
That's what I was gonna ask: is can I pay to make you guys watch movies?
I don't think so.
Jake, if you pay $50, I'll watch Spirited Away again.
I don't think so. Yeah, I guess if you pay $50,
I'm really gonna have to think about this. I might do this once a year. Pay $50.
Can I
just to make you guys watch
forego
something.
my share and then let Scott collect more money so I don't have to rewatch any of these movies?
I want you to watch it more than I want Scott to watch whatever I'm picking. Honestly,
There is no share. All money on this goes back into the pod.
yeah, we don't really we don't turn a profit on this. So
I have to watch it then.
yes.
yeah. I mean, you don't have to do it immediately, but I do have $50. So
All right. Well, what do you guys say we put this special bonus episode to bed?
Yeah, I'm gonna make Jake go first.
yeah, I'll give this 2 skateboarding while hanging from a car.
Tyler.
I'm going to give this 2.0 cool.
Nice.
I'm gonna give this 1.1 skateboards driven while riding along on a limousine. Zach.
I'll give this movie 3 worlds hacked.
Wow. 3.
Yeah, 3 was the number I decided going into this.
So this gets a 20%.
Ooh, is that Child's Play bad?
I think that will take the bottom. Yeah, it's about 4% less than Child's Play.
Crazy.
Child's Play
That
got a
is
24%.
I feel
Well,
like I
that would
ranked Child's Play better than this, though. Am I right on that, Scott?
I don't think so. So
Child's Play, you gave a 2,
Yeah.
Zach.
Okay, so yeah, Child's Play you ranked a little lower than this.
You guys both gave Child's Play 0.1 less, Jake and Tyler, but I gave Child's Play a full 3 points higher
Okay.
than what I gave this.
I mean, honestly, Child's Play was really bad, and it probably wasn't worse than this in my opinion. But as we've gone on, I think we've all been cognizant of a little bit of shift as the seasons have gotten better. We've gotten a little bit more normalized in our scoring. But this is officially, of all the movies we've ever reviewed, you guys heard our number 1 episode just a few weeks ago. The number 1 movie we've ever reviewed is Little Women. And of all the movies we've ever reviewed, the worst one is Hackers.
I feel like Child's Play is worse. Personally.
I think
feel
Child's
that.
Play
That's just
is
not
No,
what
better.
I'm just saying, like Tyler was saying, I feel like Child's Play is a better movie, and I thought about it when he said it.
I feel
Yeah.
like you got to give Child's Play. I agree. I think Child's Play is worse. I hated it more, but you got to give it some points just for how it stood. Like its iconography has stood the test of time, whereas no one talks
Yeah.
about Hackers.
No,
That's true.
Hackers didn't launch a franchise,
Yeah, exactly.
Hackers 2 is actually in development right now.
Oh Lord.
Are
I'm
you
just kidding.
joking?
Oh. That was a
you know
mean
what?
joke.
I kind of want to put this in our official ranking. I say why not?
Okay.
We don't know because none of us nominated it.
Yeah. Who does
So?
it? Yeah. So like, it's like what we're gonna have like a, I don't know, some 10 out of 10 movie that somebody makes us watch, and then that's gonna be our best.
I
And none
think
of
Yeah,
us
that's
even
kind of
it's
picked
the
it.
interesting.
precedent that like all movies go into the main rankings. We can talk about it later. We have the ranking. It's here. We can add it at any point.
Yeah, we're not it's locked in. We have it, and this data is all in the same place, so it can easily be merged over if we want to. Yeah, we'll just have to have a little conversation about how we want what we want our rankings to like really mean or be or whatever going forward. But
Yep.
Is it
for
that
now-
easy, or will we need to hire a hacker?
ooh, the good news
Don't we already
is-
have you?
The good news is I'm pretty sure Zach is pretty technologically savvy. And I think he has just the right rabbits and cookie monsters to figure this out.
Oh,
Mhm.
that I'm sorry. Before we wrap, maybe my favorite line is when the Cookie Monster virus comes in, and then he's like, "What are you using? Type cookie, idiot."
Yeah.
Obviously,
Excellent. Yeah.
you haven't seen a Cookie Monster virus.
The rabbit's going for the colonel. Inject a flu shot.
Colonel who?
Excellent. All right. Well, where are we going for our next full episode, Scott?
Our next regular episode is to you, actually.
Okay, Magnolia.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I thought-
longest movie of the year. So sorry about that, everybody.
Oh, I thought we were getting into Spooktober next.
No.
Spooktober's after Magnolia.
All right.
Yeah. Although, we did talk about maybe punting it until after Magnolia, but I don't know if or until after Spooktober, but I don't know if we landed that. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting. Special big thank you to Fernando for being the patron of this episode. If you guys want to nominate a movie for us to review, you can do that at patreon.com/rottenpotatopod. And we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Dude, I think this episode's just gonna be effed up.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We love you, Patreon.
Hope you enjoyed the bonus app.
Yeah. And
If you guys have more stuff you want us to watch, just go to our little sheet over there and pay us more money.
Also, if you don't want to give us money, you can come to me and give me your best pitch, and then maybe I'll pay $20 for it.
there you go.
If I really am feeling generous or angry at one of them.
What is our veto policy on this? Does it have to be unanimous?
I think it says on the website it's unanimous.
Okay, so if one of us does it, then it's like for sure going to happen.
I feel like we have to recuse ourselves.
Yeah, I think you're
Like-
So the other three all
Right,
veto.
Yeah. But if I'm putting forward a movie on somebody's behalf, well, I guess we can figure that out later. But yeah, I would say if I put forward a movie, I can't be in on the veto talk.
I agree. All right, guys. Love you. And